Now that we have some items added to our menu, let's learn how to customize it and really make it yours. These things are going to happen under the administration section. A little bit will be in site content, and most of it will be in themes. All of your looks typically live in themes. We have a bunch of starter themes here with different looks that you can try out. You can just click apply, preview it, see if you think that might work for you, and if not, then stop the preview and go back. There's a bunch in here, and they're a great starting point for if you want to edit and customize it to your look. So, seeing as this is a donut shop, I'm going to work with the bakery starter. Let's just preview it real quick. This is what it looks like by default. Pretty suitable, I think. But let's see what else we can do. So I'm going to go in here to edit. We had a draft that I was working on before, but I'm going to get rid of that. And everything that you're working on is basically going to be a draft. Hang on, let me go back. I have to go back because it didn't start with that. There we go. Okay, so everything's a draft, so nothing that we're doing right now is going to show up on the live page. And that's important. We don't want your menu jumping all over the place as someone's trying to read it. So at the beginning, we can start off by changing colors. Button colors we can adjust any way we like. We can have bright green button colors. And what we're using here is an HTML color picker. They're pretty common throughout the web and any program that you are choosing a color to use. You have a draggable bar here, and then you also have a little dot showing where in this palette you want to be. And then if you're up in this high bright part, it's going to stay in the high bright parts of the other colors as you go through. So, and you can also use red, green, and blue numerical values if you have them for the color you want. And it also allows for HSL, which is hue, saturation, and lightness, or entering the hex codes. You can just type them in if you have those. Most of the time I expect you're going to be picking by dragging them. So that's showing up here right now. That's for button color. Now let's say header color, we want to go brighter pink for this donut shop. Let's move it up here. There we go, look at that. That's a very bright pink. Now for background color, we have the option to use a gradient that goes from one color to another, and you can see it more if I put a different color in here. There. Now it's currently going from this yellow here over to this pink over here, and you can see it better where there's more room. And you can change a second color. Say we wanted to have it go from yellow to light green. I'm not saying you would, but we can. That's actually not too bad. And this gradient angle will change the direction that the gradient is coming from and to. So now the green's mostly on the left and the yellow's mostly on the right. And if we go over here, now the yellowish is on the left and the green is on the right. Now this background image opacity is, oops, oh, wow, that takes you right to the guide. Okay, the background image opacity is, if you have a background image, and I am just going to use the dozen donuts as a background image. And we're going to crop that, save it to our draft. There we go. We have donuts as our background image. Now those colors still exist, and if we reduce the opacity of the image, we can get it all the way back to where you're just getting a hint of the background, or even none at all. And if you all the way here, then your background colors are basically just hidden, and that's fine. One note, having a background image will take milliseconds longer to load on someone's phone or computer than having no background image. So if you're planning on just hiding it that way, it's might be better to just remove it. You can remove it from draft like that. Now here is where we'll choose the body text color, and that's going to be your menu headers and things like that. So let's see if we can't make a preview of it where it'll really stand out and let you know why you may or may not want that color. You're going to want to test these things as you go, because especially on something where you've got a background image, you need something that will be readable as someone's scrolling across that. So let's go back to editing and pick a more suitable color. With the background image as it is, we might want something more like white. And if we do that and then preview it, oh, what happened? Did I? Oh, I changed the gradient color, not the body text color. There we go. There's pure white. And now, if we preview that, now our headers, they show up a little better against this background. You may also prefer to go the other way and go with a very dark text. It all just depends on the background image that you are choosing. Now, on this side, there is an image border color for each menu item. Where you have a photo, it's going to have a small border around each item on the menu. We can check that in the preview. That's this little brown border right here, and you kind of want something that's going to go with your theme. So let's make maybe that closer to our pink, maybe purple. There we go. The footer color is going to be what's at the very bottom of the page, where the links are down here. Now, card color. Cards are where your menu items exist. Let's maybe do a pastel kind of bluish here. Yeah, something like that. And that's going to be where your menu items are. And these are just example menu items, so don't worry about the text in those. You do also have the opportunity to choose a gradient. In this case, with that default black, that's what you get. Let's try something maybe to, I don't know, purple. That's interesting. So that's what you would get there. And of course, you do have the ability to change the card gradient angle going around, and that's going to give a little bit of a change to the look to your preference. Now in this one, the card opacity over the menu. As you drag this one, you can see that this is fading and allowing some of the background image through. And this one is the preview of the expanded card. So if when a customer clicks on a menu item and it pops up enlarged, that's the color that's going to be there. You can go all the way down to a 0 card opacity. It will still just have a little bit of a border shadow, but really hard to see. But when they open it up, it's going to be that color. So bear that in mind when you're creating this. Most likely, if you're doing the background image, you want it to come through a little. That might work better. And with card text color, you do, of course, want to make sure that you have good contrast and are able to read it. That red maybe works, but I think the white's better, or the very dark. I think that comes through the best. So now we can save this. We'll just call it Background Bakery. We can save it and apply. Save this look and make it live. Your diners will see it right away. Save it. Okay. There we are. We have a completely customized page. It's maybe not ideal yet, but it is custom. Now, let's talk about this banner and the fact that this just still says restaurant. We can do this in the site content page, where you can change the site name. Oops. And some of these colors are pulling from the theme editor. That is the body text color, I believe. Anyway, so we'll save the site name. Now it shows Daisy's Donuts. Now for a nav logo, that's going to appear up here if you don't upload a logo. Now, if I choose a file here and upload a logo, it's now going to appear up there in the nav bar. Now, for the banner, you can have in the text banner, it doesn't show on here, you can have a tagline. So tasty treats for all to eat. And if we save the banner wording, that's in there. You also have the option, if you scroll all the way down here at the bottom, okay, don't get me lying to you. If we go back here, to themes, we can upload, let's edit our theme. And go down to banner. We can use a gradient color with a text color behind it. And there's the text that we entered. The Daisy's Donuts, tasty treats for all to eat. And we can have it just like that. Now you do have the option, if you select uploaded image, you can choose a file to upload and crop to be your banner. So now that is what we have at the top of our page. It's not perfectly perfect. I did this very quickly. Okay, we'll just save and apply. It's going to save it over the one that I just created. If you don't change the name, it'll save it back to where it was. You can change the name and create all the variants that you could possibly want. But anyway, now we have a banner up there. If we go back into our themes, we do have the option, yes, we've got to edit our theme. Edit our theme. And for the banner, we do also have the option of doing nothing. That's just no background image, no name over a color gradient, nothing. But if we do this, we can use the gradient effects again on our banner and just have that wording in there. That's fine. And then just save that. And then name it and apply. Background. Bakery no banner. Now, this is what we have. Totally up to you how you want to do that for your menu. The idea is that you can customize things quickly and get an attractive menu up and running to your liking as quickly as possible.